And breaking tonight, the NTSB is now sharing new details on its investigation into the possible cause of the deadly UPS cargo crash just over 2 weeks ago.
In their preliminary report released at 11 a.m. this morning, the NTSB including these photographs being seen for the first time showing the left engine leaving the wing as the plane was actually attempting to take off, that engine flying into the air, and it is also on fire. WHS 11's longtime aviation expert Reed Yadon breaking down all the new information we learned today.
Thanks for being here, Reed. We appreciate it. What was most interesting to you? We're talking about fatigue and cracking in the left engine pylon.
Well, I think we already knew where the NTSB had most of its interest, so that was confirmed today. I want to emphasize we did not get any conclusions out of this report. It's not its purpose.
That's probably a year away.
It's a statement of fact, right? It's at least a year away. This is a very complex investigation. But we did get definite clues as to what they're looking at, which we already knew.
The photographs are stunning.
The photographs are just unbelievable. We've had the one piece of video we've used. These were obviously taken by surveillance cameras.
Take us through
at
them,
the airport.
starting with number one at the top left.
Let's start with number one. This would be right at the point of VR, or rotation, the speed at which the plane was rotated. It's nose high, probably slightly thereafter. Now, bear in mind, this whole sequence of pictures probably covers less than 2 seconds. They're off a video. But picture number one shows the aircraft. There it is, nose high. Everything's normal. At this point, right as they rotated, everything was good. But it sure started in about a half a second later, because look at the building behind. Then when we go to picture two, you can see how much of the building you see. The airplane's moving
and look at
very
that engine.
fast.
Look at that engine on the wing.
Now we began to get a clue. Things are starting to go south. There is the engine nacelle up on the wing.
It's pointing upward.
It is. It broke. For whatever reason, it came off, and it's going to make a tumble.
Compare it to the one on the other side of those.
Right.
On the right side of the aircraft. And there's your left engine starting to separate.
The left engine, the right engine. Now it started. And just go to picture three. No fire yet, but in picture four, now we have fire. There is the cowling on the engine going in the background, you can see. But now we have fire being fed by raw fuel, hydraulic lines. Picture four, it only gets worse, but look at the engine.
It's above the aircraft, still being propelled by the thrust.
It was still making enough thrust to rise into the air before it came down. Okay, and you can see the fire only getting worse there. Now, at this point, the crew obviously is hearing all of the bells going off. All of the annunciator panel is showing all of the things wrong. We go to the next picture, and in the previous picture, I don't know whether the aircraft, if it had broke ground, not very much. I think it's broke ground in this one, you can see, but look what happens. We're going left wing down here a little bit because of the imbalance there with the engine off the wing. Then we go to picture number 6. And bear in mind, this whole sequence of pictures, less than 2 seconds. Aircraft is off the ground, blazing. Now, at this point, I would think by now, we probably, the data will begin to show that there is something going on with one of the other 2 engines, because they can go with 2 engines. They can get around, come back and land.
In fact, it did. It cleared the fence and went above some semis to about a level of 30 feet.
Got up to 31 feet. So it did that. It flew for a while, but I believe it could be, there's only 2 engines, the outboard engine on the right side or the engine up on the tail. You can make a case for either engine having been compromised, and the final report may say that both were compromised to some degree. Maybe they were running, but they weren't making full thrust enough to propel the aircraft. But at any rate, they probably, either one or both of the engines took in foreign debris from the one engine that was destroying itself.
How did those pylon lugs typically handle the stress of takeoff and flight?
Well, see, this is, I think, a key question. And the NTSB has taken a lot of this material back to their lab.
What's this photo?
Okay, this is the photo where it's showing a portion of the
lug, right?
Yes.
This was the separation. This is the left pylon?
This is the left pylon, that is correct.
Okay, so it's showing the erosion there on the upper left.
Exactly. the NTSB says there was fatigue evident. Okay, they're not saying when it showed up. I would think there was a lot of stress on that pylon when that engine started destroying itself. Something tore it loose. So which came first? What set the chain of events in motion?
Final question. We now know we had an accident where the pilots could do nothing. They did everything right. The procedure is to continue with the takeoff. So what is going to be the outcome of this accident, Reed, in the end?
I think the outcome will be perhaps a change in maintenance procedures on certain aircraft. I don't know if the MD-11 is ever going to fly again.
I was going to
It's on the
ask
ground.
this,
They
yeah.
can't fly it until they come up with a fix. They haven't done that yet, but they were concerned enough. The fleet is grounded by everybody's agreement.
All right.
But I suspect it'll be a change in some maintenance procedures on a lot of aircraft.
Always good. I know you're following this closely. Thank you, Reed.